I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. Hey y'all, it's Kay from the Literary Apothecary, and welcome back to another bi-weekly reading vlog. This is for the last week of January, first week in February. Welcome. So this past week I have finished 2 books to start off this bi-weekly reading vlog. I finished The Game of Kings by Dorothy Dunant. I ended up giving this one 4.5 out of 5 stars. The first half, as you know, was really difficult for me to get through. I had to bring in a whole bunch of different guides to get through it and understand it and be able to track what was happening to who and when and where. But the second half was absolutely amazing and totally made up for that first half. I understood why Dorothy Dunant made the decisions that she did at the beginning of the book, but made it a really difficult reading experience for me. So that's why I kind of knocked it down half a point, but wow, that ending was absolutely incredible. I also finished Voice of War by Zach Argyle. This was my patron pick of the month for January, picked by Sharon. This one I gave 5 out of 5 stars. I thought this was written so well. It had engaging characters and fascinating magic. I absolutely loved the magic system in this. So those are the books that I finished. The books that I will be reading to start off this next week is The Eye of the World, Just Like Home. Those 2 books I need to finish by next weekend, the last weekend in January, because we've got live shows on Saturday the 28th discussing both of those books. One over on Leslie at the Nerdy Narratives channel talking about Just Like Home for the Wine and Crime book club. And then almost directly after that will be on my channel talking about Eye of the World, the first book in Wheel of Time series, for that read along. I'll also be reading Vevin Song, Bloodlines, and Demons by Dostoevsky. I'm hoping to finish up Bloodlines this week so then I can move on to the last book in the Gears of War series. And maybe even finish up Vevin Song, although we'll see, because most of my focus will be on, of course, Eye of the World and Just Like Home for those live shows. So that's it for now, and I'll check in with y'all again very soon. Hey y'all, checking in now. I have finished a couple books since I last checked in. Actually, I finished one yesterday and one this morning. So yesterday I finished The Eye of the World just in time for our live show this weekend. I rated this 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it had great adventure, a great storyline, good characters, but there were a lot of characters to keep track of and a lot of places, and it felt like sometimes there were things mentioned that didn't really need to be mentioned. It didn't feel like it moved the plot along. So that's why I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I can't wait to read the rest of the series. This is the only book in the series that I had already read before. The rest of the series will be first reads for me, so I'm very excited about that. Because I finished that book, then I went and started A Game of Thrones, which was part of a kind of buddy read with Ben, Overly Average Ben, and Grace on their Discord. This is all a first read for me. I've seen the entire TV show and I enjoyed most of it, but I have not read the books yet. So this is a completely first read for me. So far I'm through the prologue, and the prologue sets it up so well. So I can't wait to continue with that. And then this morning I finished Bloodlines by Jason M. Hugh, which was book 7 in the Gears of War series. This one I gave 3 out of 5 stars. It felt like this book was not needed at all. Just like the other book, this is a totally different timeline, different characters. This one took us back to Kate Diaz's dad when he was a gear, and we hadn't even met this character before. He had been mentioned, but he was dead by the time these books came along. So it really did not feel like we needed this book at all. Once I finished that, then I got the audiobook for the last book in that series, Ephyra Rising. I haven't started that one yet, but I will be starting that later today. Also have one more announcement. So there were two things that I've been trying to figure out how best to do. I wanted to support our indie authors more, and I wanted to give something more to my top tier patrons, my Clan Fraser patrons. And so I thought maybe do some kind of a giveaway of the self-pub authors that I have on my self-pub Sundays, their books to my top patrons. I haven't quite figured out the exact details yet, but if you want in on that, come join the Patreon. The top tier is only $5 a month, and there is lots of stuff there. But more information to come from my top tier patrons on that. Once I figure out all the details, I'll put those in Patreon and also on the Discord, so you get all the details on how and when and where to join that. So that's it for now, and I'll check in with you guys again soon. Bye.
Hey y'all, it's Kate checking in again now. I've been dealing with a head cold that just wouldn't go away this week, so I haven't checked in a lot. In a minute, I will check in about my reading so far this week. But I also got what I think is Bookmail, and I think I know what this is, and I'm super, super excited for this. But I wanted to wait for you all to open it so you guys could see it. So, without further ado, let's just jump right in. Yes! Okay. Wow, she really did send all three of them. I'm so excited. So, these are books by Palmer Pickering, who I'm going to have on my channel, I think, in March as part of the Self-Pub Sundays. She sent me all three of her books. These are big books. I was not expecting these to be big, but these covers are absolutely fantastic. Moon Deeds, Star Children's Saga Book 1. Look, there's a glare, of course, when I'm trying to record. These covers are just so good. I'm so excited for these. I have to figure out which one I'm actually going to read in March and which ones I'm going to read later. I haven't figured that out yet, but this is Light Fighters, book number 2 in that series. I mean, these covers are absolutely just so good. Palmer, thank you so much. I'm so excited for this. And then this one, I believe, is a standalone. Or maybe another series, book 1, Heliotrope. I think this is the newest one that just came out, if I'm not mistaken. But these covers are so cool. I'm so excited. Thank you, Palmer. I'm so excited for these. So, I said I would check in about my reading. So, this week I finished the Gears of War series. I finished the last book, Ephyra Rising. I couldn't remember the name at first. That was, as I'm aware, the last book in this series. I enjoyed that book more than the last 2 books that I read in that series. But the timeline of that series is just all over the place. So I gave that one 4 out of 5 stars. I thought the writing was well done. The storyline was great. It was just the timing of where we got that in relation to the rest of the books was not right. Because that kind of took place in between the first 5 books and books 6 and 7. So that was weird. But the style of that writing, which was by a whole other author, matched the first 5 books much more than book 6 and book 7 did. So I finished that. Right now, I am reading Vevin Song, which I hope to finish today, maybe tomorrow. That's a self-pub book that's coming out this month. I am making my way through Of Game of Thrones. I started Imperium, which is a historical fiction book based on the Roman Cicero, I believe. This is a read-along with Alan at the Library of Alexandria. They read this book in January. I started it the very last day of January, so could count it as a carryover. Also, The Fifth Elephant by none other than Sir Terry Pratchett. I am loving that book. I'm loving being back in the Discworld. I love those books so much. And And then I started a short story collection called Let Your Lips Twitch, which is a humorous short story collection, part of a book tour I'm doing that's held by Eric at Break Even Books. And so far I've read the first story and I'm absolutely loving it. It's just what I needed at this time. What else? I also read our Joan Didion essay of the month, The Seacoast of Despair. This one I didn't enjoy as much as some of the others, although I still love Joan Didion's writing. This one I was about basically the really wealthy mansions, and I want to say New Hampshire. I can't remember where exactly, but I couldn't really connect to this one like I could with some of the others, so not one of my favorites, but I still love Joan Didion, so there's that. So that's what I'm reading now, and I'll check in again very soon. Bye. Hey y'all, I'm checking in one last time for this bi-weekly reading vlog. First and foremost, let's say hello and welcome to some of our new subscribers we've had this past 2 weeks. Michael R. Soothless, who will be on my channel on our Self-Pub Sundays sometime later this year. Ancient Wolf 808 and Derek Gregg. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. It really means the world to me, because without you, I'd just be sitting here talking to myself. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now this morning, I did finish one book. I finished Vevin Song by Jonathan Navis Mayers. I gave this one 4 out of 5 stars. I got the arc from the author for this book. The book is released on February 7th. I absolutely love this book. I thought it was a beautiful story, very well written. I enjoyed most things about this world. I gave it 4 stars and not 5 stars because I wanted more emotion from the main character, and it was hard for me to picture the Vevin fully in my brain. I'll go into much more detail about all of this in my dedicated review coming very soon. Now this weekend, I'm going to be shifting my TBR a little bit to adjust to some commitments I have coming up that I need to get books read for. So this weekend, I'll be starting Gerzo by I Anonymous, who will be on our channel on the 12th, so next Sunday. And I'll also be starting Yellow Sky Revolt by Baptiste Pinson Wu, who will be on our channel hopefully the weekend after that for Self-Pub Sundays. So some other reads that I'll be reading a little bit here and there this weekend include continuing with the Game of Thrones, Imperium by Robert Harris, The Fifth Elephant by Terry Pratchett, and Demons by Dostoevsky. So that's it for now. Let me know in the comments below, what was your favorite reading moment from the past 2 weeks? What are you looking forward to reading the most next week? As always, my Patreon and my Discord information will be in the description below. Keep reading, and I love you all to the moon and back. Bye.